Yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome back to my channel. My name is Ndifon Ntui. On this channel I make sewing tutorials. I post new videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and on Saturdays. If you like my channel, if you like what I do here, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to give it a like. In this video I'm going to show you how to cut and sew the dress that you have seen on the thumbnail. If you are a beginner or if you're a person that wants to brush up on your skill, I offer online courses. I'll be showing a demo on how to draft a jumpsuit so you can watch and decide if learning online will be convenient for you. If you're interested, please send a Telegram message to the number that you can see on the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. I will see you in the next video. Have a lovely day. Bye bye. Alright, you're welcome to today's video. In this video I'm going to show you how to draft the top part of the dress that you can see on the thumbnail. Now I know the title said how to sew this dress, but I'm focusing on the top part in this video. That's from the half cut all the way up. I'm going to sew it like a top. So here I will show you how to attach the net to the sweetheart and also how to make that sleeve. Okay, that's the exaggerated sleeve that we have. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do is I'm going to draft a bodice that's going to stop at your half cut. So I'm going to draft a bodice that's going to come from your shoulder and it's going to stop 2 inches after your under bust length. So let me do that first. If you don't know how to do that, go see my video on how to draft the bodice. So what you can see here is the bodice that I was talking about. So we have a neckline, your shoulder, armhole. This is your bust, your under bust length. This is the half cut. When I say stop 2 inches after your under bust length, this is the line. That's this line here. Please disregard the bottom line. I made a mistake and wrote this line here. But these are the 3 bust, under bust length, half cut. Okay, here I placed your bust round, so your bust measurement. Here I placed, then I skipped here, came down to your under bust, your half cut, and I placed your under bust round there. If you see my video on how to draft the bodice, this should be, or if you've been watching my videos, you know what I've done here from the top. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to place the top length. So remember I told you that we're making this as a top instead of as a dress. I have made a lot of videos where I made a full dress and showed you how to neatly join top to bottom, but in this video I'm going to make it as a top. So we're going to come from here and place the top length from here. So the top length we're working with is 19, the short top. So I'm going to make a mark here at 19. Then I'm going to roll the line. I will place the same thing I placed on my under bust round here, but if you know that you have a bit of a belly, at this point I will advise you place your waist measurement, okay, so that it's not too tight. So I'm going to place the under bust round here around 8 inches, okay, and connect here to here. So I connected here to here, and then I'll rule a line. So you see that, so now we have gotten the basic block down. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to place the bust point to bust point measurement divided by 2 plus half. So the bust point to bust point is 9, okay, so 9 divided by 2, 4.5 plus half, 5. So I'm going to mark 5 from here all the way down. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do is, as you can see, the net there's a top part that is the net and the bottom part that is the bustier, and as you can see I'm drafting everything at once. So at this point we need to separate the top from the bottom, so as you can see, this is a sweetheart. So it starts from here and comes down towards the center. So you need to know how deep you want the center to be. Okay, so in the center, that's the front part here. For me, I want mine to be a bit deep, so I'm going to come down to 9 inches. So here, I'm going to come down to 9 inches and make a mark here. And at the armhole, it's not supposed to be on the same level, so I'm going to keep here at 7.5. So as you can see, it's a sweetheart, but it's not like a very, very serious sweetheart. It's a very subtle sweetheart neckline. And then this is my green line. I'm going to extend it all the way to the top. Then the next step is I'm going to cut it out. So this part we have here is the part that would be used to cut the net for the front. Alright, let me complete what we have to do at the bottom. So over here, we've extended the line to the top. Next thing, if you've seen my video on how to cut an off, on how to draft an off-shoulder bustier, this is going to be a walk in the park. So what I'm going to do at the top here is I'm going to mark 1 inch. See what I'm doing? I'm keeping ½ inch in the middle of my line here. I'm going to mark ½ inch here, and I'm going to mark 1 inch here. That's what I just did there. Alright, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the under bust area that is over here, and I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches here. See that? And I'm going to make a mark at 2 inches at the bottom. Okay, connect them together. Okay, I'm going to connect this bust area out to the under bust. Now, if you watch my video, I made a lift at the under bust area. I don't want to make that lift here. It's for my wife, she says she doesn't want it. But if you want that full lift and you intend to do like the full padding that I did in my how to pad an off shoulder bustier, then you can go ahead to make the ½ inch lift from here. If you don't understand what I said, that means you've not seen that video, so go and check it out. It will be very, very useful in giving you a more detailed explanation of what's going on this part here. So I'm going to connect here up to the ½ inch, and I'm going to connect here to the 1 inch. So you see what we have over there. Okay, now the next step is to pay back all our allowances. So over here I took away 2 inches. I'm paying back. This is not our actual sewing allowance, this is just us paying back what we have taken. Okay, here we took away 1.5, and we're going to spend ½ inch joining them. So over here I'm going to keep 2.5 inches. See that? Extend here out. You see this here? This is ½ inch. We're going to need to join it back. Okay, so by the time we join it, if we kept 1.5, we'll only have paid for what we've taken. Then the extra 1 inch that we've added to that 1.5, that gives us 2.5, is the ½ inch we spend for joining it. So I'm going to stay here and make a curve. Over here, simply place 1 inch. That's going to be enough no matter the size we're making. So simply make your armhole curve like so. Then connect all this line together. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my regular allowance of 1.5 inches. So now the next step is to cut out this maze of lines we have in front of us. Alright, so after you have cut all the pieces we have here, the next thing is, this is for the net, this is for the body at the bottom. When you're adding your allowances on your net, you need to add ½ inch of allowance at the bottom over here. You will see me do that when I'm cutting. ½ inch of allowance under the here, so that by the time you join it back, it's balanced. And at the top here, you're going to need to add ½ inch over here and ½ inch over here. So you see what my arrow is pointing towards the top. There'll be ½ inch here, ½ inch here. So the next thing I'm going to do, alright, now for the back, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep 2 inches in front of my pattern, and then I'm going to draft a bodice like we did for the front. So you've seen what I've done. I have my line here, and this is my allowance for my shoulder. So I'm going to go ahead to draft the bodice, but I'm going to start everything from here going down. Okay, I'm going to treat here like we treated the edge when we're drafting the front. Okay, so what you can see here is my back bodice. Like I said, all my measurements start from here. Now I think I forgot, in case I didn't tell you what I used for the neckline, neck and width, the neckline width and depth at the front. What I use at the front is 4 inches with a depth of 3 inches. Okay, here what I use is 4 inches for the width and 2.5 inches for the depth. That's from here to here. But every other thing is the same. Bust measure. This is the bust line, under bust, half cut. This part here is the top line. So now the next thing is to keep the space for the net at the back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply come to 6.5 and I'm going to simply just cut across. So I will cut out this top part and I'll tell you what to do there. But for the bottom part, we're going to have a line running from the top to the bottom at a width of 4 inches. Okay, so you see from here to here, we're going to hold a dart here. Okay, from the bottom running all the way up. So because of the 1 inch we'll consume here by consuming half inch when we are sewing, we're going to need to replace our allowance. Now remember that the main allowance at the front was 1.5 inch after we paid all that we had taken. It was 1.5 inch, so the same thing would apply to the back. Because of this 1 inch that we have here, our allowance now is going to be 2.5, and at the top here we're going to keep an allowance of only 1.5. So you see what we have here. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the sleeve, but before then, remember that towards here you add half an inch, towards the top you add half an inch, so that by the time you join them back, your bodice is balanced. So let me go ahead. Now I'm going to draft a sleeve. If you don't know how to draft a sleeve, go and watch my video on how to draft a sleeve. I'm going to draft a short sleeve. Now if you saw the measurements I showed you before the video started, you will see that I said that the sleeve length was 6 inches by 18. Now if you look at the image that we had and the video that you saw at the beginning, the sleeve is in 2 parts. Here to here, that is the net, and then the one that completes it. So from here to here is the 6 inches, and from here down is what is the 18. The space in between is the 18. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draft the first part, that is net, here to here at 6 inches. I've made a video on how to draft the sleeve, so go and check that out, and I will meet you here for us to continue from there. Alright, so this piece that you have here is our sleeve. So you can see this is the front of the sleeve, this is the back of the sleeve. You can see the difference in the curve that they have. So what you're going to do, get a big piece of paper like the one I have here, okay, and what you're going to do, simply place this one on top. You see this? Keep them on the same spot at this point here, okay, and then you're going to mark them like so. Alright, now we're going to rule a line of ½ inch at the top. That's going to be our sewing allowance for planting it inside. If you look at this other sleeve here, you can see that I kept ½ inch of sewing allowance when I was cutting it. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mark the complete length of the sleeve. So remember, the sleeve was 6 by 18. We're going to keep 6 inches on this line. Alright, and we're going to make a mark at 18 inches. Okay, and then what I want you to do is I want you to measure the line itself. So you can see here we have approximately 12 from here to here. So approximately 12. So I'm going to come to 6 inches and I'm going to make a mark as well. So first of all, we kept 6 inches, marked 18, brought down our tape, found the middle of the distance between the 6 inches and our 18, which was this 6 here, because here to here was approximately 12. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to simply extend all the lines we have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is from here to here, okay, we're going to measure it, this 8 inches. We're going to mark the same thing at this part here. And now you're at liberty to make the center part as wide as you want it to be. So you can see I have all of here. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make a mark at 11 inches. Okay, see that? Then I'm going to connect here to here and here to here. So here I'm going to mark times 4, meaning you should end up with 4 pieces of this. You'll see what I do when I'm cutting. Also when I'm cutting, I'm going to add ½ an inch to this part over here. So let me start cutting all the parts. Alright, so now the first part I'm going to cut is this part here. Now this is the front. Remember we said we're adding ½ an inch to the bottom, so adjust your net, your lace, whatever you're using on this part accordingly. Place this on top and I'm going to cut. Make sure you keep the edge where it's supposed to be. And then now I'm going to cut around it, adding my ½ inch at the bottom for sewing. The next step is to repeat the same thing on for the nets at the back. Okay, so after cutting the front and the back, the next thing I'm going to cut is the sleeve. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. Look at the way I opened up the sleeve. Because the front and the back of the sleeve are different, you need to open it up when you're cutting both of them. Okay, so I'm going to simply cut around it. I've already added the ½ inch at the bottom of the sleeve, so I'm not adding anything. So now the next step is for the front and the back. Okay, two sides of the front and the back. Now for the center, remember this, they just to fold your fabric, place this on top and cut all the sides to be the same. Remember the front here should be cut on a folded edge. At the bottom, you're not adding anything. The only place where you're adding, you make an adjustment like what I did when I was cutting the net. You're adding ½ inch at the top of your fabric here. The same goes for here and here. So all of here the same, only at the top ½ inch. Here the back, everything the same, only ½ inch at the top. Alright, so I've gone ahead to cut all the patterns. And for example, when I place this one on top of here, you will see that at the top we have there's a difference between both of them. Okay, so that's the same thing I did on all the other ones that had arrows facing up. And after I cut the fabric, I went ahead to use the fabric where I had adjusted the ½ inch at the top. I went ahead to use the fabric to cut all pieces for the lining for the main part of the body. That's the front, this is the side of the front, this is the back, there's a lining there as well. The next thing that I'm going to show you how I cut the fabric for the big part of the sleeve. Alright, so when I'm done with that, I'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now to cut the next step, remember we need to cut 4 pieces at once. So first I make the fold like I have done just now. After this has been done, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to collapse here like so, so that with one stroke we'll be able to cut 4 of them at once. So now that we've done that, you should know that 2 sides of this makes one sleeve and these other 2 sides make the other sleeve. So I'm going to use this to cut the pattern for my lining as well, and after that I'm going to iron stay on all sides of the fabric. Okay, so let me say that again. I'm going to fold my lining the same way I just did to the fabric, and I'm going to cut 4 pieces on the lining, and then I would iron 1 level of stay onto this part of the fabric, and on the body, that's the bust area, the back. Go and see my video on how to pad an off shoulder bustier. That's what I'm going to do on the body, and after that I would see you on the sewing machine. But the video of me sewing this is going to come tomorrow. I want to just put out this video today to keep you guys busy for today, but tomorrow, by the time you would see this video, the same time you are seeing the video today, the same time tomorrow you will see the video on how to sew it. But let me go ahead to pad this. I've shown you guys how to pad this before. I'll see you in the next video where we piece all these many pieces we have together. Thank you for watching. Have a lovely day.